Sinan mainland, home to immortal cultivators, who strut around like they own the place, while mortals break their backs just trying to survive. Naturally, the mortals spend their lives chasing immortality, because who wouldn't want to trade hauling water buckets for hurling fireballs around? A young man, barely dragging himself up a mountain trail, pauses to catch his breath. He grumbles, "My mom thinks climbing this mountain to cultivate immortality is my golden ticket to finding a wife. But let me tell you, it's not exactly a dating app up here. I've been wandering for hours, and all I've gained is sore legs and zero help." In his hand, he clutches a flyer that reads, "Spend every coin you own, buy a cake, or join the divine, immortal sect." He stares at the paper like it personally insulted him. This is the last stop," he mutters before looking up at a crumbling shack ahead. "This is the divine, immortal sect? Are they cultivating immortality or termites in there?" Sweat drips down his face as he sizes up the sad little structure. "Nope, this is definitely a scam." Tossing the flyer to the ground, he huffs. "Forget it, I'm going home to nap. This was a colossal waste." "Don't leave before he can take another step." A hand grabs his leg. The young man jumps, shrieking like a banshee. Out of nowhere, a bedraggled figure emerges, clinging to him like his life depends on it. "Who the hell are you?" Pork Bun shouts, try to shake the guy off. The man beams up at him with a grin, too confident for someone who looks like he lost a fight with a bush. He announces grandly, am Wang Fong, the master of the divine immortal sect." Pork Bun stares at him deadpan. "Master of what exactly?" "Trash collection." Wang Fong brushes off the insult like it's a compliment. 3 days ago, I was just a humble comic book author, but after one too many all-nighters writing about immortals, the king of hell himself decided to give me a free upgrade. Next thing I know, my soul gets yanked into this world of cultivators, and I arrived naked, completely naked. Wang Fong recounts his entrance into the immortal realm with the enthusiasm of a man telling his worst life decision. There I was, falling from the sky like a meteor, and just when I thought it couldn't get worse, I collided headfirst with some old guy flying on a sword. Pretty sure I gave him a concussion. That was just the beginning. Moments after crash landing, the system appeared before me. The system? Yes, a divine system, sent to guide me to greatness, or so I thought. Wang Fong's smile falters as he remembers the truth. Turns out it's a bargain bin system. No spiritual energy, no magical weapons, no skills, just one lousy task. Recruit a disciple in 3 days, or get hunted down and erased from existence. Pork Bun squints at him. "You've got 3 days to rope in a sucker, and you think I'm the guy?" Wang Fong claps his hands, ignoring the insult. "Exactly. I saw you, and I knew immediately. You're the chosen one. Your bone structure is unparalleled. Your potential unmatched." Pork Bun takes a step back, his face twisting in disgust. "Chosen one? Bone structure? You're making me sound like livestock." He points at the dilapidated shack. "And this so-called sect of yours? It's a dump. You look like you crawled out of a compost heap. Who'd fall for this scam?" Wang Fong doesn't miss a beat. But looks can be deceiving, young man. Grand sects with towering temples? They take one glance at you and laugh you out the door. But me? I see potential. Potential? Pork Bun throws up his hands. "You mean potential to get scammed blind?" Wang Fong sidles up to him, throwing an arm around his shoulder. Now, think about it. Who else would offer you a chance like this? Other sects want perfection. I want you. That's called vision." Pork Bun rolls his eyes, muttering, more like desperation. And thus begins the most unlikely partnership in the history of immortal cultivation, or the fastest way to end up broken, regretting life choices. Wang Fong had to admit, for a chubby guy, the kid was surprisingly emotional. As soon as Wang Fong praised his so-called extraordinary abilities, the young man's eyes went misty and his voice cracked. "Can I really cultivate immortality? Can I become a deity?" Wang Fong, ever the con artist, visionary sect master, immediately whipped out a flyer like he was selling snake oil. "Do you know why our sect is called the Divine Immortal Sect? Because the name says it all. Join us, and you'll be a deity in no time." At that moment, the young man's mind wandered off into a vivid daydream. He saw himself lounging on a mountain of gold, saving damsels in distress, and marrying the most beautiful wife in all the land. Drooling at the thought, he fumbled with his money bag and held it out, trembling with excitement. Is it true? Will I really become a deity? Wang Feng's eyes lit up like lanterns at the sight of the money. His hand shot out faster than a lightning strike. That's right, darling, he declared, already mentally spending the cash. The chubby young man hesitated for a moment, pulling the bag slightly back. But what if I don't become an immortal? Wang Feng slapped on his most sincere smile, which was about as trustworthy as a street magician. Don't worry, a 100% guarantee. If you fail, I'll refund your money, find you another sect, and hey, I'll even throw in a good wife. The young man squinted at him, half believing and half doubting. You're serious? Serious as the sky is blue. Wang Feng beamed, though his inner monologue was less charitable. Asterisk, this kid actually believes this nonsense. He's either my first disciple or my personal curse. The young man pondered for a moment, then said, Fine, but I have conditions. I can't diet or do hard training. I need meat and fish every meal. My clothes must be washed by someone else, and if I'm tired, I'm taking a nap. Wang Feng froze for a second, forcing a grin. Of course, he said. Small matters for a grand sect like ours. Meanwhile, inside he was screaming. Is this a disciple or an ancestor? If it weren't for this damn system threatening to wipe me out, I'd have sent you straight to your forefathers by now. The money bag dropped into Wang Feng's palm, and a system notification chimed in. It was like a game-winning jackpot. Congratulations, host, unsuccessfully recruiting your first disciple. The strongest sect system is now activated. Please check your rewards. Wang Feng barely contained his excitement. Rewards, he muttered, hurriedly opening the system panel. But before he could even glance at it, the chubby disciple launched himself at him in a bear hug. Sect Master, you're amazing. Not only did you accept me, but you're treating me so well. Even my family doesn't spoil me like this. Can I call you Brother Wang Feng from now on? Brother, my head. Wang Feng shoved him away. Don't disturb me. I'm checking the rewards. The young man pouted. Fine, but I'm starving. When's my welcome feast? Wang Feng rubbed his temples. I'll make something now, he muttered, all while planning his escape. Outside the dilapidated house, he finally opened the system panel in peace. Host, Wang Feng. Cultivation, none. Physique, none. Lineage, none. Wang Feng groaned. Great. I'm the immortal equivalent of a broken broomstick. Rewards. 1 summoning opportunity, 1 price chance. The system elaborated. The summoning opportunity allows the host to summon a celestial realm powerhouse who will join the sect and assist in teaching disciples. Wang Feng perked up. A celestial realm powerhouse? Finally, some actual help. He closed his eyes, recalling his pitiful first 3 days in Sinan mainland. Day 1. Wandering alone in the cold. Day 2. Gifted a house barely standing on its own. Day 3. Curled up in despair, wishing he could return home. System, he shouted dramatically, thrusting his hand toward the panel. Summon the strongest champion you've got. The air crackled, and a portal opened. Wang Feng's shack lit up like a fireworks display. A pair of feet emerged, descending from the swirling vortex of light. Please, Wang Feng whispered, staring at the portal. Don't let this one be another idiot. As Luing lay outside the decrepit house, lazily swatting at butterflies like an overgrown child, the sudden beam of light from the heavens sent him flying backward. Mom, is there an earthquake? He screamed, flailing in the dirt like a turtle on its back. The ground trembled, the sky darkened, and Luing's survival instincts kicked in, though admittedly, they weren't very good. Help! Something's falling from the sky. Somebody call the immortal fire department. The light engulfed Wang Feng's dilapidated shack, which miraculously remained completely intact. Terrified and now curious, Luing scrambled to his feet and bolted toward the glowing house. What in the world is going on? That thing should have been reduced to splinters. Bursting through the door like a panicked bull, he found Wang Feng casually sipping tea, looking utterly unbothered, as if he weren't sitting in the epicenter of a cosmic event. Luing dashed over, and in his haste, managed to spill the entire cup of tea onto Wang Fang's face. Sect Master, what's happening? Wiping the tea off with the grace of a man used to disappointments, Wang Fang glared at him. What's happening is you just ruined my tea. Can I not have one moment of peace around here? Line, wide-eyed and trembling, pointed to the door. Forget the tea. The sun's gone. Sighing dramatically, Wang Fang followed Line's gaze. Outside, the silhouette of a man descended through a torrent of spiritual energy. He was enveloped in a blinding light. His every step seemed to quake the ground. His presence was almost suffocating. An immortal. No, a monster. The end is near. Wang Fang slapped him on the back of the head. Monster? That's Yi Guang, the protector of our sect. Line blinked, dumbfounded. Protector? Since when do we have one of those? And what realm is he in? Is he mid-spirit realm? Or profound realm? Wang Fang scratched his chin, feigning deep thought. He's in the nobility peak realm. Line's jaw dropped so hard it practically hit the floor. Nobility peak? Sect Master, are you speaking the human language? The nobility realm is practically god tier. People like him are the strongest in the empire. Watching Line's frog-like face contorted in shock, Wang Fang chuckled inwardly. This guy's reaction is gold. I've worried for nothing. Strong is strong, no matter where you are. The glowing figure stepped forward and bowed deeply to Wang Fang. Yi Guang greets the sect master. Wang Fang, basking in the moment, waved his hand magnanimously. Ye elder, no need for such formalities. Let's keep things casual. Line stood frozen, his brain short-circuiting. I've seen pigs climb trees, he muttered, but I've never seen someone in the nobility realm bowing to anyone. What kind of divine being is my sect master? Meanwhile, Wang Fang, struggling to maintain his facade of calm, was silently sweating. This martial world dialogue is exhausting. Let this idiot handle it from now on. Turning to Line with a smirk, he said, Line, pay your respects to Elder Yi. Line scrambled to his knees, bowing so low he could have kissed the floor. Watching his newfound disciple grovel, Wang Fang allowed himself a moment of smug satisfaction. See? Once they know you're strong, they fall in line. With Line sufficiently humbled, Wang Fang turned his attention back to the system. So, system, he asked, what's this price draw opportunity about? The system's panel lit up like a slot machine. The price draw allows the host to win items such as a celestial bloodline, advanced cultivation techniques, or physical summoning of a strong ally. Rewards can be used by the host or sect disciples. Wang Fang's eyes sparkled with greedy joy. Wait, so you're telling me I can win something that will actually make me immortal? Jackpot! System, let me draw right now. The system didn't hesitate. A wheel of fortune spun wildly on the screen before slowing down, stopping on the image of none other than Yi Guang. Congratulations, host. You have drawn Yi Guang's 100% cultivation. Wang Fang stared at the reward orb, a whirlwind of thoughts brewing in his head. As the sect master, a humble mortal, why on earth would I let some clueless disciple use this instead of boosting my own cultivation? Priorities, people. He turned to the system panel, his curiosity piqued. System, if I absorb 100% of Yi Guang's cultivation, how much can I level up? Host will advance to the early stage of the entry phase realm, the system responded. Completely devoid of enthusiasm, Wang Fang squinted at the screen, scratching his head. System, can you speak in plain human language for once? Entry phase realm? What does that even mean? Wait! He spun around dramatically, startling his disciple. Lian, Wang Fang asked, feigning ignorance. Do you know how cultivation realms are divided? Lian straightened up, puffing out his chest like an overeager student about to recite from memory. Of course, Sect Master. Cultivating immortals is divided into 10 major realms. Foundation Establishment, Profound Vein, Medium Spirit, Profound General, Entry Phase, Nobility, Profound Sovereign, Venerable, Profound Saint, and Profound Emperor. He rattled off the list with the speed of someone who'd practiced it in the mirror 100 times. Wang Fang nodded slowly, pretending to process this revelation. Ah, so entry phase is fifth, huh? Smack in the middle. Not impressive, but not embarrassing either. He crossed his arms, deep in thought. Still starting from scratch, though. This system is the real scam artist here. With a resigned sigh, he shoved the glowing orb into his chest. System, upgrade cultivation. A sudden surge of spiritual energy erupted, surrounding Wang Fong in a dazzling display of light. His frail figure transformed, vitality and power coursing through him. Muscles bulged, his aura became overwhelming, and his tattered robes didn't survive the transformation, leaving him standing dramatically in his ripped outfit. Lian, wide-eyed and slack-jawed, gasped audibly. Sect Master, your body. It's monstrous. The Sect Master is truly divine. Wang Fong caught his disciple gawking and immediately started brainstorming excuses. Great, now I need to spin this into something inspirational. He cleared his throat. This, my dear disciple, is merely a demonstration of what's possible with diligence and discipline. If you train hard for just 1 year, you too could achieve the entry phase realm. Lian's face lit up with a mix of awe and despair. 1 year? Sect Master? That's impossible. Reaching the entry phase realm takes a lifetime, unless you're a top-tier genius. Overcome with emotion, Lian threw himself at Wang Fong's legs, sobbing uncontrollably. The heavens must have smiled upon me to bless me with such a miraculous Sect Master. I swear I'll train diligently and never waste your kindness. Watching his disciple grovel and cry, Wang Fong felt a pang of guilt. Yeah, let's not mention this was all a lucky draw, he thought. Enlightenment. He spread his arms wide, tilted his head to the sky, and murmured, "Ah, so this is what it feels like to step into the entry phase realm." He closed his eyes, inhaling deeply. I can hear the water droplets falling, flowers blooming, wings flapping. Before he could finish basking in his self-created glory, a shadow crossed the sky, followed by a loud squawk. A young woman with a face darkened by fury landed with all the grace of a wrecking ball. Her foot struck the bird again for good measure before she turned her annoyed gaze toward Wang Fong. Wang Fong arched a brow, then turned to Igu Changyi. "Elder, why don't you handle this? Let's see if she's here for tea or trouble." Igu Chang stepped forward, his sword glowing faintly with a white aura. He planted it firmly in the ground, his expression stoic, his voice hoarse. "May I ask, friend, where you hail from?" Before the woman could respond, the ground beneath Igu Chang rumbled ominously. A whirlwind erupted, knocking his sword skyward and sending him tumbling like a rag doll. The whirlwind grew stronger, tearing through the surrounding area and sweeping up a stack of Wang Fong's divine, immortal sect recruitment flyers. The three of them stared helplessly as the papers were flung into the sky, scattering like desperate confetti. "My flyers!" Wang Fong groaned, clutching his head. The woman remained unfazed, her expression as sulky as before. The girl from earlier fell out of the vortex. She gaped, frowning, as she stared ahead. Immediately after, the poor bird was again stepped on by her wicked foot. "Is your back a temple or what? Stepping on it like that?" She used all her strength to kick the bird, then slowly descended. She shot a piercing stare intently ahead as she landed. Suddenly, a flyer fell right in front of her. Startled, she quickly drew the sword from her waist. Without the slightest hesitation, she swung at the flyer with a deadly strike. Igu Chang's expression darkened upon seeing this. Griping his sword tightly, he growled, "Don't destroy the items of our sect." As soon as he finished speaking, he immediately drew his sword. The blade emitted a blinding light. Igu Chang raised his sword behind his neck, showcasing its dazzling brightness. A wave of spiritual energy wrapped around the blade. Then he unleashed a stream of sword chi forward with an icy expression. The airflow released from his sword directly attacked the piece of paper. At the same time, the paper accidentally got hit right in front of that girl. In the blink of an eye, the paper had fallen straight onto the girl's face, causing her to blink in surprise. Not only that, the paper was sticking increasingly tightly to her face. In a panic, she tightly embraced the paper, losing her balance and falling from above. The girl hit the ground, creating an explosion right in front of Wei Feng. Seeing this, he pointed ahead and said in confusion, "With this way of greeting from Igu Chong, if someone is a friend, it might just turn into an enemy. Lian, why don't you go greet her?" At that moment, the mist gradually dissipated, and the girl appeared, flattened on the ground, her body covered in injuries, still holding tightly to the paper on her face. Lian timidly approached and said, "Miss, are you all right?" Meanwhile, Igu Chong had sheathed his sword. Then, he turned to glare sharply behind him. That was also when the paper on the girl's face was unsealed, and she pulled it down, staring blankly as she looked over. Lian opened her eyes wide in fear upon seeing that face, sweating. "It has nothing to do with me." The younger sister gritted her teeth in anger, then slammed her hand down hard on the ground with a dark expression, her whole body filled with evil energy. Seeing this, Lian panicked, tears streaming down her cheeks, and ran away with her legs curled up to her neck. Hearing her sister's words, Igu Chong chuckled. "This is not trash. What you're holding is a flyer from our divine, immortal sect." The younger sister, upon hearing this, unfolded the paper. She furrowed her brow and stared wide-eyed at a flyer. After looking at it for a moment, she raised her head, her eyes wide in confusion. "Is this the divine, immortal sect? What else could it be? I am the sect master of the divine, immortal sect from the flyer. My name is Wang Fong." As soon as he finished speaking, the system suddenly appeared with a notification. "You have a new message. Congratulations, host, you have found a genius. The new mission is to recruit 10 disciples, and the reward will be 10 summoning chances and 10 prize chances." Reading this, Wang Fong's eyes lit up. 10 summoning chances, 10 prize chances? Is it true? Just after acquiring a counterfeit item, Line managed to exchange it for the powerful Swordy Gang in the cultivation entry phase realm. If this time he can obtain a genius as a disciple, wouldn't that mean he could soar? But how can that be achieved? Never mind if I can't think of it. I can still save a dead horse and turn it into a live one. So the young man spread his arms wide, looked at the girl with enthusiasm, and said, "Young lady, I am very impressed with your bones. You must be a cultivation genius." Line, who was sitting next to him, heard this and thought, "This line sounds familiar." The young man then got upset, grabbed a stack of flyers, stood up, and glared at Wang Fong. "Sect Master, do you say this to everyone you meet?" As soon as he finished speaking, someone quickly covered Line's mouth, causing him to widen his eyes in surprise. It turned out to be Wang Fong. After dealing with Line, he turned his sweat-drenched face back and continued, "I have carefully considered this." But in his heart he thought, just now she could ride a flying bird, which proves that her abilities are extraordinary, and her knowledge must be considerable. Although the realm is not higher than mine, her combat experience is definitely stronger. This tactic can only deceive the fool. Chun, it certainly won't work on her. The younger sister pondered for a moment and suddenly spoke up. "You said you were the sect master of the divine, immortal sect, right?" After saying this, the younger sister turned her face, took out the flyer, placed her hand on the large round speaker, and looked at Wang Fong with a gentle gaze. "The flyer says the divine immortal sect is recruiting disciples, so do you think I can join?" Wang Fong was taken aback upon hearing this. Both teacher and student were thrilled, their eyes sparkling with thoughts of, "I never expected a sweet treat to fall from the sky and land on my head. I never imagined that this fairy could become my junior sister, fellow disciple." Just as they were enjoying the moment, a warning from the system appeared. Detected that the host is in an excessively joyful state. A gentle reminder for the host. Do not celebrate too early. If the other party does not pay the entrance fee, it will not be considered a disciple. After reading this, he was furious and shouted, "Damn, does this damn system have so many rules?" Wang Fong raised his hand in front of his face, closed his eyes tightly. "The regulation of our divine immortal sect requires you to voluntarily submit all the money you have on you as the sect fee." Upon hearing Wang Fong's words, the girl suddenly ran over and grasped his hand tightly. She took his hand and placed it against her chest, closing her eyes tightly and making a cute face. I rushed out without any money on me. Can I make up for it later? The young man was sweating and stammered awkwardly, responding that this was the rule and must be followed. But in his heart, he thought that if possible, he would rather not pay a single cent. But how could he do that? This was a mandatory requirement of the system. Hearing those words, Line was struck dumb and thought to himself that even someone like Ling F wanted to join the sect, and the sect master also wanted to collect money. I have truly made a lot of money already. At that moment, a group of strange people suddenly appeared behind Ling F Wu. Hey, beauty. Do you really think you can escape from the palm of the Marquee? Hearing this, the girl opened her eyes wide in panic. The young man with white hair glared, wearing a sinister smile. Ha! Even your father can't protect you. What can these monkeys in the mountains do to help you? Ling F Wu turned around, pointing her sword forward, frowning in anger. Lin Yuni, I am now a disciple of the divine immortal sect. In front of my sect master, you won't easily destroy your humanity. The guy standing next to him, after hearing this, felt like, I thought desserts would fall from the sky, but it turns out I am the dessert for someone else. Lai jumped down from the tree, leaping forward, looking up at the sky with a strange expression, gathering energy in his hands. You dare to steal the prey of the Marquee. The Marquee does not mind giving you a strike. Although the lackeys raised by the Marquee have all reached the profound general realm. Wang Fong, after hearing this, rested his chin on his hand, closed his eyes, and pondered. The profound general realm is only one level below me, but they have 5 people. Moreover, I don't know what level the captain is. It seems this disciple recruitment has some danger. Ling F Wu stared intently at her shining sword, trembling all over. At the same time, Line walked straight up to Ling F Wu and pointed forward. Ha, little junior sister, you don't have to be afraid. It's just the profound general realm. My sect master can crush you with just a fingertip. The young men, having been slapped in the face painfully, gritted their teeth and frowned. Wang Fong was not much different either. After hearing this, sweat poured down his face like rain, and he thought to himself, Line, you really are a big fool, always causing trouble for me. Although my entry phase realm could basically fight a profound general in a moment, I have no real combat experience. If I make a move, I will definitely lose, which will affect my grand plan of accepting disciples. After thinking for a moment, he raised his head. He stared ahead with a dazed expression and forced a silly smile. Ling Fu looked up and saw this. Then, she clasped her hands tightly together, kneeling before Wang Fong. She exclaimed, Thank you, SE Master, for your help. Upon hearing this, the young man raised his hand. He closed his eyes tightly and confidently said, Don't worry, with me here, no one can bully you. He talked big, but deep down he felt petrified. He thought, You all are just echoing each other. You don't need to put me on the roasting pan. As soon as he finished speaking, Lin Yun's group landed right in front of Wang Fong, yelling, What kind of game is this? Daring to show danger in front of me? Let me teach you how to write the word for death. His subordinates understood his intention as they heard him. Some wielded daggers, some swords, and others knives. All of them rushed forward with cold, fierce looks in their eyes. Faced with the attack of those crazed individuals, Wang Fong was taken aback. He stared wide-eyed in astonishment. The image of a sharp sword was clearly reflected in his pupils. Suddenly, a barrier of reactive space appeared behind Wang Fong, causing their speed to slow down instantaneously. At that moment, a young man swung a blade down towards Wang Fong. But strangely, the sword blade suddenly distorted right in his palm. On the surface of the blade was the reflection of Wang Fong, his face beaming with joy. Behind him appeared a girl holding a dagger tightly in her hand. It seems that in the world of cultivating immortals, being a level higher can indeed crush a person. However, those crazed individuals continued to frantically slash their feeble swords. Wang Fong found it amusing. They used to be good training targets for me, but in front of my disciple, it would be shameful to have a fair fight with them. So, Wang Fong decided to look up at the sky and shout loudly, Yu Chong. Hearing his name, Iga Chong appeared immediately. He raised his sword in front of him, his expression serious, and his sharp eyes staring intently at the sword. Iga Chong glided toward the madman, performed a few moves, and in the blink of an eye, the whole group was defeated. Having dealt with the scrappy bunch, Iga Chong charged toward the leader. Lin Yun gaped in shock when he saw Iga Chang's sword, his face drenched in sweat. Wang Fong stepped in front of Lin Yun, glaring intently at the young man. Then he pointed behind him sarcastically. To make us know how to write the character for death, you all are really risking your lives. But now that character for death still lacks a stroke from you. Lin pointed ahead, his face brightening. He glanced at Ling Fu. Did you see? No need for the Sect master to intervene. Just Elder is enough to take care of them. Oh my, this must be the profound general realm. Do you see that in the Yari Empire, the strong of the profound general realm are really above the middle level? Lin Yun felt terrified at Iga Chang's cold expression, his heart pounding. He thought, can he really kill 5 profound general experts in a second? Is this person at the entry phase realm? No, he is probably at the nobility realm. My father couldn't even pass the nobility realm. Thinking of this, he was terrified, sweating profusely. At this point, he could only admit his guilt. Ending his thoughts, Yuni raised both his hands, clasping them together. Without hesitation, he bowed his head before Wang Fong and prostrated himself. Senior, I am the junior, Lin Yuni. With eyes that cannot see the great mountain, please spare my life. I will run away immediately. Let my father, the Marquee of Chanlin of the Yari Empire, prepare a gift for you. As he finished speaking, he gave a sinister smile. Ling F. Wu, who was nearby, widened his eyes in anger. Upon hearing the name Marquee of Chanlin, he was grinding his teeth. At the same time, Wang Fong lunged forward and grabbed Ling Chang's shoulder. He then leaned his face forward, raising his voice. I don't care if you are the Marquee of Chonglin or the Marquee of Dawn. As long as you dare to come here, I will not let you go unpunished. Hearing Wang Fong's words, Ling F. Wu stared in disbelief. Ling Chong looked up, cheerfully smiling as he said, How can that be? I said our Sect master has no problem dealing with that Marquee of Chonglin. He will only take 2 fingers. Ling F. Wu bowed his head, recalling the events of the past. In the entire Yari Empire, it seems that no one dares to touch the estate of the Marquee of Chanlin. Marquee of Chanlin, Lin Tianzong, not only possesses nobility and cultivation, but also commands an army of 500 men. Each soldier is a profound general, with 10 captains in the entry phase realm. Their strength is comparable to several mid-level sects in the Empire. Therefore, they can act recklessly. To harm me, I can only flee far away from that place. However, the Sect master of the divine immortal sect doesn't even pay attention to the existence of the estate of the Marquee of Chonglin. Perhaps he can protect me. Finishing his thoughts, Ling F. Wu knelt down and prostrated himself before Wang Fong. He glanced at his sister's stunned expression, and after a moment, he opened his mouth to speak. What's wrong with you? Why are you suddenly performing such a ceremony? After hearing this, Ling F. Wu closed his eyes tightly and replied, Sect Master, from the beginning, I thought the divine immortal sect has been running around, treating a disease. His sister looked up, glaring at Ling Yuni, and shouted, But now, I firmly believe that the Sect Master can uphold justice for the Ling family. Master Wang Fong, seeing his sister's anger, widened his eyes in surprise. What exactly is the grudge between you and Lin Yuni? His sister glared, clenching her teeth, her whole body trembling. During a time when the disciples were sent out for cultivation, I encountered Lin Yuni, the young Marquee of the Marquee of Qin's estate. He was captivated by my beauty and tried to violate me. It took all my strength to escape from his grasp. I thought that ordeal was behind me, but when I returned to the Ling family, as soon as I stepped through the door, I discovered that Lin Yuni had brought the strong men from the Marquee of Chan's estate and slaughtered hundreds of people from the Ling family. If it weren't for my father's desperate protection, I fear I wouldn't have lived to meet the Sect Master. After speaking, she lifted her head. Her face darkened, her whole body trembling. Wang Fong gently approached her to comfort her, saying, Don't worry, Whether you're my disciple or not, I intend to see this matter through from a different perspective." Upon hearing these words, Lin Yun's eyes widened. He gritted his teeth in discomfort. He dug his fingers into the ground. Then, using all his strength, he sprang up and fled. Sect Master Lin Yuni has escaped. Wang Fong was a little surprised when he saw this. The villain in a comic doesn't directly resist. Then they directly kneel down and beg. Why isn't this guy following the usual script? Seeing the terrified expression on Ling Fu's face, Wang Fong boldly patted his sister on the shoulder, smiling. "Don't worry. With Elder Igu here, he won't be able to escape." As soon as he finished speaking, Igu Chong, who was standing aside, also understood the intent. He drew out his sword, which emitted a dazzling light. Then he unsheathed the sword entirely, its blade gleaming. His hair stood on end, and waves of spiritual energy continuously poured out from his body. At that moment, the crazies, who had been beaten up just moments ago, were suddenly sent flying by Igu Chang's sword chi. Not only that, but Wang Fong, Ling Fu, and Lin were also simultaneously lifted into the air. The girl and the frightened little disciple clung tightly to Wang Fong, making him helplessly think, why does Igu Chang always want to create such a grand spectacle whenever he makes a move? Luckily, my cultivation in the imagery realm is stable, otherwise both I and the disciples would be in the same dire situation. The sect master's face would be completely gone. At this moment, someone's foot stomped the ground and jumped up. That foot stepped on the corpses hanging in the air one by one. It turned out to be the foot of Igu Chang. Thanks to the grace of those crazies, Igu Chang quickly soared upward, just in time to catch up with Lin Yuni. The unfortunate young man raised his face and saw Igu Chang, his mouth agape in panic. Running away desperately, Igu Chang glared with narrowed eyes, staring straight ahead. Then he used the ultimate technique, immortal flying from heaven, launching a stream of sword chi toward Lin Yuni. The stream of sword chi struck directly into Lin Yun's face, causing him to open his eyes in pain. Immediately, blood flowed from his face without stopping, even making him cry blood. The immense force knocked him backwards. Igu Chang retracted his sword. As the sword was withdrawn, the crazies fell from the sky, blood splattering everywhere. Igu Chang turned to leave, not forgetting to send them another wave of sword chi as a parting gift. At that moment, as Lin Yuni collapsed to the ground, something fell from his neck. It turned out to be an emerald pendant engraved with mysterious images. Ling Fu's eyes widened as soon as he saw the jade pendant. His younger sister rushed over to grab the pendant, holding it tightly in her hands. The unfortunate young man looked up at the sky, trembling all over. He knelt among the corpses of his subordinates, shouting loudly. Iguan glanced over and said in a low voice, "According to the sect master, Lin Yong master has stayed here." Ling Fu Wu glared at Iguan, secretly sweating and thinking. From the very beginning, I knew this person's martial arts were extraordinary, but I never expected them to be this outstanding. Especially the move immortal flying from heaven just now. Even if the Marquee of Chonin had acted directly, he probably wouldn't have been able to escape unscathed. With a character like this as an elder in the divine immortal sect, sooner or later their reputation will be known throughout the world. Why have I never heard of them before? Am I really that shallow? Lost in thought, he suddenly heard Wang Fong glance over and speak, causing his sister to jump. "I know about your desire to join our divine immortal sect, but it was only to protect yourself that you had to act this way." Ling Fu felt exposed, his face darkening, a drop of sweat rolling down his cheek as he bit his lip in silence. Wang Fong placed his hand on his chest, closed his eyes tightly, and smiled. "But I truly want you to become my disciple. However, my sect is a big hidden sect. You will understand this better in the future and can decide then." Ling Fu Wu, upon hearing this, smiled brightly like a blooming flower. Wang Fong saw this and thought to himself, "No wonder I'm the famous comic book author. This dramatic moment is what I call pure emotional fire." At this point, Ling Fu Wu presented the jade pendant that had been mentioned earlier. This is a jade attendant, a treasure passed down from the Ling family. Today, having received great kindness from the Sect master, is revenge for me. I am willing to offer it as a fee to join the Sect. Wang Fong raised his hand to touch the jade pendant, smiling brightly. I don't even know if the system accepts jade as a fee, but it doesn't hurt to try. Then, Wang Fong opened his eyes halfway and looked up, surprised by something. At this time, the younger sister frowned, her eyes clearly showing sadness, deep in thought, as if she was contemplating something. Wang saw this and gasped, whispering to himself, "Oh, why is her face suddenly so red?" Ling Fuwu pondered and recalled the past. "Xiao, did you always scream for a piece of jade like this before? In the blink of an eye, you have reached this age. Father will give it to you. Take it. It might even turn out to be a love token." At that moment, she held the jade pendant and said, "This is the heirloom jade of the Ling family. Shou will definitely not give it to anyone." After thinking for a while, the younger sister turned her face away sadly. On the contrary, Wang Fong held the pendant between his fingers and gazed at it with bright eyes. At this moment, the system displayed, "Congratulations, host, for completing 1/10 of the task of accepting a disciple. The rewards are 1 summoning opportunity and 1 prize draw chance." Wang Fong slapped Ling Fu's shoulder, startling her. The younger sister looked up, confused. Wang Fong cheerfully said, "Now you are a disciple of the divine immortal sect." He widened his eyes and smiled confidently. "Your enemy is also considered our sect's enemy." After saying that, he pointed at Lin Yuni. "You can take a share of the profits from that useless person." Upon hearing this, Fu's eyes suddenly widened. She noticed a piece of wood by the roadside. Without hesitation, she walked over to pick it up. Then, the younger sister strode directly toward Lin Yuni with a face filled with evil energy. "Exterminate the enemy. Clam like a ship sinking into a sea of blood. This grudge cannot go unavenged." She raised a sharp branch, her eyes full of hatred. Gritting her teeth, she shouted loudly, "If I don't kill you, it would be a waste of my status as the great lady of the Ling family." Without hesitation, Ling Fu delivered a fatal stab to Lin Yuni, causing blood to splatter everywhere. The unfortunate young man painfully raised his face to the sky, opening his mouth wide to scream in despair. Blood continuously gushed from his throat. Seeing the young man's pitiful appearance, Ling Fu glared and said in a low voice, "Lin Yuni, you took the jade to toy with me. Did you ever think of this day?" She forcefully pulled the branch out of the young man's body and continued, "You, high and mighty, thinking that your status as the young master of the Marquee of Qin's mansion could cover the sky. Did you ever think of this day? You slaughtered my entire Ling family, so your life will be the price." Finishing her words, the younger sister continued to deliver a powerful stab to his chest, blood pouring out incessantly. The branch being pulled out and dripping drop by drop, but it wasn't over. The younger sister rushed straight in with her elbow sideways, the branch piercing into his chest again. "I ask you once more, have you ever thought of this day?" Lin, witnessing the scene before him, trembled and pointed at Ling Fu. "Secretary Master, little junior sister." She snickered after hearing this, interrupting the chubby guy's words. "Let her find satisfaction." At this moment, Lin Yuni's eyes widened, slowly closing them. Finally reaching the moment, he turned his neck to the side and met his end. No matter how powerful the force is, at the moment of death, one could only lie among a group of useless subordinates. The system displayed, "You have a new notification. Congratulations to Disciple Ling Fu for taking the life of a strong, profound general realm, receiving 300 sect points." Ling Fu tightly grasped the blood-soaked branch in her hand, walking forward to kneel right in front of Wang Fong. "Thank you, Secretary Master and Elder, for helping Fu take revenge. From now on, Fu lives as a member of the Divine Immortal Sect, and in death, she will also be a spirit of the Divine Immortal Sect." Wang Fong smiled and responded, "I myself can provide you with a good foundation for practice, but whether you become truly strong or not depends on yourself." Wang Fong stepped forward, grasping Fei Wu's hand. The young man stared intently at the bewildered expression of Fu and said, "Remember this, my sect, Wang Fong, fears no one. As long as there is enmity, no matter how strong the opponent is, they must be killed to bring joy." After hearing this, Fei Wu widened her eyes, staring blankly. Suddenly, her eyes closed and tears welled up. The young girl, too emotional, tightly grasped Wang Fong's hand, sobbing, "Fu will not let down the sect master's teachings." Hearing this, the young man grinned widely, whispering to himself, "I truly am a famous comic author. Controlling people's hearts is really quite simple." Wang Fong raised his hand to the back of his neck, scratching his head awkwardly. "I've talked too much. When the time comes, what will I teach them?" Ling F was not like the wooden club liching. Just 1 year could lead to entry phase right away. Suddenly, Yuk Chang's sword clashed with Ling F's Wu sword. He turned serious, glancing over, and asked in a stern tone, "Can you practice sword Dao?" Upon hearing this, the young girl turned to look at Yuk Chang with an innocent, doe-like expression and shyly called out, "Ye elder." Yuk Chang bluntly replied, "Will you agree to take me as your master?" Ling F, Wu, Wang Fong, and Luing were left speechless in surprise. Wang Fong saw a great opportunity and whispered to Fu, "It's harder for you to actively take in a disciple than for a stone to bloom. What are you still standing there for, you silly little girl?" Upon hearing this, Fu's eyes widened as sparkles appeared in her pupils. Immediately, Ling Fu bowed her head to the ground hard, kneeling at Igu Chang's feet. She called out, "I pay my respects, master." Seeing the enthusiasm of the girl, Iguang said, "Your swordsmanship is very good, but before I pass it on to you, we need to deal with the internal injuries you sustained during the pursuit. Get up and follow me to treat your injuries." After saying this, he tightly shut his eyes and turned to leave. Hearing this, Wu glanced at Wang Fong and called Sect Master. He understood her meaning and smiled. "Just go ahead." After that, Wang Fong turned his face to see the two heading towards the dilapidated house and thought to himself, with a guardian and a naturally gifted disciple like Ling F. Wu, Igu Chang even wants to teach her swordsmanship. I thought this empty-handed endeavor would not succeed. As a result, the sect began to take shape in just an afternoon. In contrast to that joy, Line sighed sadly when he saw Fu together with Yuk Chang. Little junior sister arrived later than me, yet she could pay her respects to a strong elder. I, as the big senior brother, am not as good as little junior sister. The chubby boy shilly walked over to Wang Fong, pointing at his own face. "Sect Master, I wonder what you will arrange for me next?" Upon hearing this, Wang Fong repeatedly patted the chubby boy's round belly. "You should lose some weight with that body of yours." He pointed towards the garden in front of them. "I have work for you. Go clean up the area around the house quickly, tidy it up a bit. This is the headquarters of the divine, immortal sect." After hearing this, Line felt like he had turned to stone. The sky seemed to collapse. The chubby boy sat down, diligently pulling up weeds. He muttered sorrowfully. When invited, they spoke flowery words. "They treated me like a treasure. As soon as the little sister arrives, I become nothing but weeds. Truly outrageous." In a moment, afternoon turned to dusk. A rainbow appeared in the sky. At that time, Wang Fong was leaning against a tree, grinning like a fool. He opened the system panel. "System, please open the property panel for the Divine Immortal Sect," he said. Last time, upon recruiting Line, he successfully attracted Yu Chang. This time, with the recruitment of Ling F. Wu, I wonder which esteemed elder will be summoned. The system panel immediately displayed. Sect, Divine Immortal Sect, Level 1. Master, Wang Fong, Entry Phase Realm. Elder, Yu Chang, Nobility Realm Peak. Disciple, Line, Immortal Realm. Disciple, Ling F. Wu, Medium Spirit Realm Peak. The sect headquarters is in a small world with a sect point total of 300 points. Wang Fong, feeling curious, pointed at the system panel and asked, "What are these sect points used for?" As soon as he finished speaking, the system panel immediately displayed the information. Sect points can help the host exchange for chances to win rewards. They can also be used to upgrade the system. Upgrading the system allows the host to summon stronger beings and powerful spells. It can also accommodate more disciples. After reading this, his eyes lit up. He clenched his fists with an excited expression. Wow! So how can I earn Sect points? The ways to earn Sect points are as follows. First, complete the tasks assigned by the system, with higher difficulty yielding higher points. Second, eliminate the enemy. Eliminate as many enemy points as possible. Third, recruit top geniuses into the sect. The higher the genius's ability, the more points earned. Wang Fong was wide-eyed and dumbfounded after hearing this. Isn't that right? System. Ling F. Wu, at 18 or 19, has reached the medium spirit realm peak. So she must be considered a top genius. Why didn't her points increase after joining? The system replied, although Ling Fu has potential, she does not possess a special constitution or comprehension of intent. Therefore, she has not yet reached the top genius ranking. Upon reading this, the young man felt a headache coming on. He thought, so, Ling Fu was not considered a top genius? What does a top genius with high abilities look like? System. Do you think my sect master can be considered a top genius? The system promptly displayed a response. The host's own talent is ordinary. However, as the system master, you will become a top genius. Suddenly, Wang Fong burst into tears and exclaimed, what about Line's talent? Searching for Line's talent requires a fee of 100 points. Does the host wish to proceed? The young man was left in a daze upon hearing this. That's too much. Searching for an ordinary person who needs 100 points. Never mind. Just keep looking. Having paid the fee, the system began to display images. Disciple Le Qing, Supreme Monster. Upon seeing this information, Wang Fong was stunned. He imagined the face of the chubby guy along with the phrase, Supreme Monster, and a loud laugh. That scared him. He glanced over with a startled face, and what caught his eye was the alluring backside of the chubby guy. Seriously, this fat guy could also be ranked as a Supreme Monster? At this moment, the chubby guy was still unaware of what was happening and was diligently pulling weeds. After a while, the hefty brother finally used all his strength and managed to pull up the weed clump. Wang Fong, seeing this, turned pale, sweat pouring down his face as he screamed, oh my God! This fat guy can be ranked as a supreme monster. The system, sensing the owner's panic, displayed, the system is not wrong. Disciple Le Qing possesses a black spirit tortoise body. It's just not activated yet. Wang Fong, hearing this, instinctively pointed his finger forward and asked, wait a minute, what is the body of the black spirit tortoise? The body of the black spirit tortoise is a special physique at the level of a cheat, which includes two types of abilities, absolute defense and absolute vitality. Forming the body of the black spirit tortoise ensures that one does not harm their life. The heavens and earth do not age, and neither does he. As all things wither away, he still remains with boundless longevity. The defense is incredibly strong. Even if the heavens and earth were to shatter, he could remain at ease. After hearing this, Wang Fong turned to Le Qing with a surprised expression. That damn fat guy Le Qing unexpectedly has such a terrifying physique. If that's the case, if he can successfully cultivate the body of the black spirit tortoise, wouldn't he be immortal? No matter what, he must successfully train Le Qing. What is the system method to activate that body of Le Qing? As soon as he finished speaking, the system panel displayed an image of Le Qing. At that moment, the fat guy was holding a ring of grass and smiling. Oh, grass mirror. Do you know who is the strongest person in Sinan mainland? The strongest man in Sinan mainland is none other than Le Qing. The fat guy raised his face to the sky and flared his nostrils. Upon hearing this, oh grass mirror, I never expected you to be as knowledgeable as below. Hearing those cold words, the system asked, host, do you think Le Qing deserves to be beaten? Well, I think so too, Wang Fong said, lowering his head in contemplation. But what does Le Qing deserving to be beaten have to do with the tortoise body? because the method to activate the Black Spirit Tortoise is to be beaten. Wang Fong widened his eyes in surprise upon hearing this. At that moment, the phrase beaten kept replaying in his mind, causing him to frown in annoyance. What the hell? The Black Spirit Tortoise body needs to be beaten from the outside without stopping, so that the blood vessels within can be activated and fully revived. Upon hearing this, Wang Fong realized something and smiled brightly, thinking, if I can't find some legendary treasure to activate Lu Qing's body for now, then beating him is way too simple. After all, as long as he doesn't get beaten to death, right? With that thought, Wang Fong envisioned the scene of Lu Qing hanging in the air, while he continuously hit him with a stick with perfect accuracy. The tortoise body is strong like that. It should be fine. At that moment, Luing was playing with his grass mirror when a gust of wind suddenly swept by. This caused him to fearfully cover his head and run away. Why is there such an inexplicable chill? While running, he suddenly noticed something in the sky. He stopped, squinting his eyes, and asked his grass mirror, "Oh, grass mirror, do you know what is in the sky?" A fierce whirlpool appeared in the sky, surrounded by rumbling lightning strikes. Luing, terrified, rushed to hug Wang Fong, crying uncontrollably. "Sect Master, what is happening in the sky?" "Don't worry, everything is in my hands," Wang Fong said, though it was just a spontaneous boast. A moment later, he immediately turned to question, "What is happening with the atmosphere in the sky?" Disciple Ling Fu was about to break through to the profound general realm. That is a sign during the level up. Wang Fong looked at it in astonishment. "I really didn't expect that Yu Chong would help Ling Fu heal and ultimately cause her breakthrough." With this information, he turned and pointed his finger at the whirlpool, saying to Luing, "Your junior sister Fu was about to break through to the profound general level. That's a sign during the level up." The chubby man was very surprised after hearing this, secretly thinking, the junior sister just entered the sect. Not only has she been accepted by the peak elder as a master, but she is also breaking through her cultivation. In contrast to me, he is still completely mortal, and at this rate, I'm afraid my status as senior brother won't last. Lost in thought, someone's finger poked directly into the chubby cheek of the fat guy. Wang Fong glanced over at Lu Qing and smiled. "No need to be disheartened. Tomorrow I will teach you how to cultivate. Just give it some time, and you will definitely surpass your junior sister Fu. It's not impossible. You just have to be able to endure it." After hearing those words, the fat guy was extremely excited and full of energy, thumping his chest boastfully. "Thank you, Sect Master. Don't worry, Li Qing can endure." After hearing this, he released his 2 fingers from the chubby cheek. "I also believe your body can endure." After saying that, the master and disciple turned their eyes toward the light from the vortex. "I am really looking forward to the moment you break through to the profound general realm. Will the sign be greater?" Switching scenes to the mountain opposite Wang Fong's residence, suddenly, a stream of spiritual weapons pierced down from somewhere. A moment later, a slender man appeared, his whole body continuously emitting streams of hidden weapons. The young man opened his eyes wide, with deep red pupils, grinning menacingly. "Huh, I didn't expect to sleep for hundreds of years, and when I wake up, I can see a part of the profound general realm. It's truly something to look forward to." He stared intently at the swirling vortex in front of him, grinning mischievously. "It's just that the profound general realm can become my meal, which is also your honor." With that, he kicked hard against the cliff, then dashed straight down without a moment's hesitation. Moreover, he looked incredibly cheerful, smiling brightly like a flower. From another angle, we can now clearly see the speed of his altar as he searches for a tasty prey. The swirling vortex in the sky gradually dissipated. Strange red cracks appeared on the mountaintop for unknown reasons. In the blink of an eye, a large explosion occurred. The cliff shattered into pieces. Once the mountain shattered, another vortex appeared in the sky. It was even more powerful than before. Lightning bolts continuously struck down. From the vortex, a spiritual weapon ball accumulated. That spiritual weapon ball struck directly into Wang Fong's dilapidated house. The sky immediately turned dark. After a while, the sky returned to normal. A foot belonging to someone appeared. Fu stepped out with Yu Chong. Her entire body brimmed with accumulated spiritual weapon energy. Congratulations to the disciple Ling F. Wu of the Sect Master for breaking through to the profound general realm this time. The reward is 1,000 Sect points. Wang Fong grinned widely upon receiving the announcement. This young girl is truly a genius. She is just one realm away from me. Luckily, I have the system. Otherwise, I'd be left behind and wouldn't know how to face everyone. F. Wu approached, clasped her hands, and bowed to Wang Fong. Thank you, Sect Master, for giving Fu this opportunity. Lin, standing aside, felt a bit jealous. She turned to bite the young man, then whispered, "This tiny, profound general realm is nothing. Just wait a year, my entry phase will truly be called genius." Wang Fong extended his hand towards Iguang. Fortunately, we have the elder beside us. I hope that in the future, you can take the sect's reputation and bring it to greatness. At that moment, a gust of energy swept past Yu Chong. He instinctively glanced over. In midair, a circle of evil energy appeared. It emanated a voice. I thought there was only one token of the profound general realm. As soon as the words left his mouth, the young man, filled with evil energy, appeared behind Wang Fong. He glared at Wang Fong with a sinister smile. Who would have thought I could harvest more of these hard-to-swallow crickets? The young man was furious and immediately called out, "System, investigate the information of that young man." Checking cultivation requires 10 SEC points. Checking the entire background requires 100 points. Spend those 100 points, darling. Wang Fong frowned, staring intensely ahead, thinking to himself, there's a saying, knowing others and knowing oneself. One can win 100 battles. This person puts a lot of pressure on me. I even feel that Igu Chong might not be able to defeat him. So it's better to know everything. After a while of data loading, the system displayed, this person destroyed the E Empire 1,000 years ago. Great Demon Sienna. His cultivation has reached profound sovereign peak. He was defeated and sealed by the Emperor of the Yue Empire. He has just broken the seal, so his cultivation is now only nobility peak. After reading, the young man held his head in frustration, thinking, fortunately, this demon is not at peak. Otherwise, relying solely on Igu Chong, he might not be able to hold his ground. Contrary to the young man's fears, the chubby guy pointed at Great Demon Sienna and shouted, "Who are you? How dare you come to disturb our divine, immortal sect? Get out of here quickly. If not, Elder Yi will definitely not leave you a place to be buried." Great Demon Sin Sha, upon hearing this, glanced at the sign hanging in front of the house. "Divine Immortal Sect? Huh," he murmured. "Where did this sect come from? This great demon has never heard of it before." Recalling the words of the chubby guy, the young man glared fiercely. He pointed at Li Qing's face and shouted, "And you fat name, don't you know how to value your life? To be so disrespectful to this great demon." Wang Fong and Yu Chong were also very surprised by Li Qing's words. I can't believe our chubby friend Li Qing is so brave, they thought. Relying on a mortal body, daring to insult nobility peak. At the same time, Fei Wu stepped in, grabbing the chubby guy's sleeve with a worried expression. "Senior brother," she said, "this person's aura is not as low as you think. His cultivation is at least nobility peak." Great Demon Sin Sha used 2 of his fingers to make a makeshift binocular towards Fei Wu. This little girl has a keen eye, he thought. He tried to make a strange face, grinning like a madman, and said, "Huh, I am indeed frightening like this." After hearing this, Li Qing pointed at Wang Fong and confidently replied, "So what if it's the nobility realm? I still have the Sect Master right here." The Sect Master has said that the entry phase only takes 1 year, and the profound sovereign at most 3 years. Then the chubby guy continued to raise his troublesome finger in front, frowning and shouting loudly, "Our master can kill you with just 1 finger." Great Demon Sin Sha felt a bit scared after hearing these words, staring at Wang Fong, trembling. Although I sense he has some cultivation, it can't be exaggerated like this. Lu Qing leaned back, lifting his third leg in Xin Sha's face, shouting loudly, "You little cricket, coming to divine immortal sect to cause trouble, truly unaware of life and death. Hurry up and kneel down to accept your fate." The young great demon responded, "Damn it, shut up, you fat guy. I see you really want to seek death." Wang Fong looked at the scene before him, his face showing helplessness. "Now I understand why this chubby guy has the body of a black spirit tortoise," he thought. "It's because he is just asking for a beating." Great Demon Xin Sha stood above, seeing Lu Qing's stance, and shouted angrily, "Is there no one to manage your unruly man? Killing him will only dirty my hands. Someone come out and fight me." Hearing this, Wang Fong turned to order Yu Chong, "Why don't you handle him for now? I guarantee he won't dare to come back after the task was done." The young man secretly opened the system interface. "System, allow me to use the summoning opportunity." The system is executing the host's summoning command and is preparing for the summoning. Meanwhile, Great Demon Xin Sha was unleashing his power, and in the palm of his hand, he was gathering a hidden weapon ball. "Are you the elder that the damned fat man mentioned?" After saying this, the hidden weapon ball in his hand transformed into the pressure of a gigantic hand. He struck a deadly blow towards Yu Chong, wearing a smug smile. "Let me see how you make me die without a grave to bury me." Faced with the attack of Great Demon Xin Sha, Yiga Chong remained calm and boldly drew out his gleaming sword. He swung the sword forward, piercing through the eerie hand of Great Demon Xin Sha. However, the eerie hand immediately recovered and seized Yiga Chang's sword. But that was just a trick to distract Yiga Chong. The eerie hand suddenly appeared behind him in the blink of an eye. The eerie hand had captured Yiga Chong, catching him completely off guard. At that moment, he could only stare at the arm controlling the eerie hand of Great Demon Xin Sha, thinking, "I was wondering how skilled the elder was. It turns out catching him is so easy." Luing looked up and was amazed at the scene before him. Five came over and grabbed the hem of Wang Fong's clothes, looking worried. "Sect Master, you must act quickly to save Master." Upon hearing this, he closed his eyes tightly and calmly replied, "You really underestimate your master. How could the little demon king possibly hold Yu Chong?" Returning to the battle between Yu Chong and the great demon, at this moment Yu Chong had summoned a talisman. It flew through the eerie hand. Great Demon Xin Sha inadvertently saw this and opened his eyes wide in focus. The beam of light was gradually speeding towards Great Demon Xin Sha, causing him to clench his teeth in panic. At this moment, a beam of light shone on his hand. The beam of light continued to pierce through his eerie hand. In a moment of unprepared panic, the beam of light attacked the palm of Great Demon Xin Sha, catching him completely off guard. In the blink of an eye, Great Demon Xin Sha was knocked back by the beam of light and fell freely to the ground. His hand clawed fiercely at the ground. A second later, Great Demon Xin Sha landed in a position that pushed him backward, and at that moment, Yiga Chong also touched down with him. Yiga Chong, with a serious expression, stepped towards Great Demon Xin Sha, one step at a time. The great demon looked up, breathing heavily, clenching his teeth and thinking, in this remote mountain area, how could there be a being of nobility realm? Then he stared intently at his palm, gritting his teeth in anger. His palm had been scratched deeply, down to his arm, by Yu Chang's swordsmanship. This swordsmanship of his, the firepower, the purity of strength, is too high. Great Demon Xin Sha was seething with rage, clenched his fist tightly, and his eyes emitted a sinister light. On the ground, a strange hidden weapon appeared, lifting him up into the air. Yiga Chong stood across from him intently, watching the stream of hidden weapons slowly lifting Great Demon Xin Sha into the air. The chubby, talkative guy saw this and immediately pointed, raising his voice in provocation. "Oh, can't fight anymore and want to run away? Where's the logic in that?" Finishing his words, the chubby guy struck a wide-legged stance, accompanied by a proud expression, and said, If you want to leave, you'll have to crawl through my legs. Otherwise, don't even think about leaving the divine immortal sect in one piece. Great demon Shah, hearing this, became furious and shouted, "Damn you, fat bastard! You dare to mock my ultimate move!" As soon as he finished his sentence, the chubby guy immediately received a punch. He looked up, cradling his chubby cheek, and asked in confusion, "Sect Master, why did you hit me?" "Well, I saw a bug on your face," but inside he was cursing, "Damn it, why is this fat guy so annoying? I forgot he was beside us." Great Demon Sienna stared intently at Iga Chong, breaking into a sinister smile. "After breaking free from the seal, you are the first one who can stimulate my appetite. To show respect for our exquisite dish, I will tear you apart with my own hands." As soon as he finished speaking, a massive concealed weapon gathered in the sky. Along with it, a strange hand was aimed directly at Iga Chang's head. When Iga Chang looked up, that strange hand was already very close. Ling Fuo, seeing this from a distance, was extremely shocked and shouted loudly, "Master, be careful!" Yu Cheng gripped his sword tightly. The blade was wrapped tightly in a white aura of spiritual weaponry. Iga Chang stomped down hard on the ground for momentum, then soared into the air. The white aura of spiritual weaponry from Iga Chang's sword spread out, covering the area. He stared fiercely ahead, using the ultimate technique, immortal flying from heaven. He delivered a fatal strike toward the concealed weapon of Great Demon Sienna. From this angle, we could see the beam of light emanating from Iga Chang, piercing through the palm of Great Demon Sienna. Everything around began to turn chaotic. Fu sensed that the situation was not right and tightly grabbed Lu Qing's hand, pulling her inside. Iga Chang's spiritual weapon launched a direct attack on the mysterious palm. It was seemingly trying to tear apart the giant eerie hand of Great Demon Sienna. Blood splattered continuously, and that was the finishing blow that ended the battle. As the battle concluded, the sky turned blue again. Outside Wang Feng's dilapidated house, thick clouds of smoke appeared. He and Fei Fuo opened all the doors and peeked outside, showing expressions of astonishment. Wow, the entire valley has been flattened. The yard had been completely stripped of all its plants and flowers after just one battle. Iga Chang's feet touched the ground, while Great Demon Sienna collapsed in a position of defeat. Iga Chang raised his sword behind him, glaring intently at Great Demon Sienna. The Great Demon clenched his teeth, thinking to himself, "Iga Chang's strength is only slightly inferior to mine. If I exert all my effort, I might be able to kill him, but he will definitely realize that I am breaking my seal, and at that point, I can only flee." After thinking for a moment, he decided to retreat voluntarily. "That's enough for today. Once my strength is restored, I will come back to fight you all again." Wang, hearing this, asked sharply, "Are you scared? You can't run away today." Great Demon Shah, upon hearing this, grinned mischievously. He said, "I admit you are the most formidable Marquee realm I have ever encountered, but even so, you fundamentally cannot defeat me." Upon hearing this, Iga Chang put away his sword. He said, "The master instructed me to hold you back. Defeating you is someone else's job." As soon as he finished speaking, a gentle breeze blew in, and snowflakes began to fall from the sky. Wang Fan looked up and smiled, realizing something. As objects descended from above, it seemed he had arrived. Great Demon Shah raised his hand to catch the snowflakes, wondering, why is it suddenly snowing? At this moment, Iga Chang suddenly closed his eyes tightly. He firmly said, "I actually don't know anything at all." Then he opened his eyes, grimacing in discomfort. He continued, "But now, my sword tells me that he might be the enemy of my lifetime." As soon as he finished speaking, a footstep approached. At this moment, a man appeared behind Great Demon Shah. A thin figure with long hair, this man with gray eyes was the sword god, Chim and Chush Shu. Great Demon Shah turned around and saw Chush Shu. Beads of sweat poured down like rain. He thought to himself, just one Iga Chang is already a headache, and now there's another strong one like him. It seems I have no chance to escape. Among the 36 strategies, running away is the best option. With that thought, he recklessly turned and bolted away like a madman, racing past Shushu. Observing this, the sword god Shushu immediately gathered a wave of spiritual energy at the tips of his 2 fingers. Then, he lightly struck towards Great Demon Sin Sha as a greeting. However, it seemed that Great Demon Sin Sha did not sense the attack and continued to run away frantically. A moment later, blood gushed violently from his neck, for reasons unknown, and he began to feel the pain. Opening his mouth wide, he screamed, "Hey!" The blood flowed from his body like a stream. At that moment, an invisible blade, stained with red streaks of blood, appeared in Chu's hand. Great Demon Sin Sha glared down at his wound and gritted his teeth. He shouted, "Swordsmanship without form or shadow. Swordsmanship based on light that can kill. What kind of swordsmanship is this?" Shushu, after hearing this, raised his 2 fingers and retracted the invisible sword. He stared intently at the face of Great Demon Sin Sha. He said, "I only casually slashed a line. It does not count as swordsmanship. Therefore, it is not worth naming." Well, that was the part 1 of this story. If you want to see the part 2, please comment in the comment section down below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.